with all the close calls against bad or losing teams recently, where do you put the Chiefs' chances of making it to the Super Bowl? And it was a little bit closer than I thought. I didn't really expect to get very many votes for 0 to 25% chance. But a good way to look at this, where I was going with it, my mindset was, like, if you played out the rest of the season in the playoffs like 10 times, how many times do you think the Chiefs would make the Super Bowl? And Chiefs Kingdom, at least the 120 so folks that voted in this poll, giving the Chiefs less than a 50% chance. And maybe they're voting on it as 50% too. So a 50-50 chance or worse got the majority of the vote there, 51 to 75. That's pretty close. That's within 2 or 3% there. Maybe the Chiefs were up 27-0 on the Broncos. And it's just turnovers and officiating, it seems like, has really cost this team these last 3 or 4 games here, this stretch. They had the Bengals beat. They had the ball up for moving.
Yep.
And Travis Kelce fumbles. And they go down and get the lead. And then Butker, that's broken record at this point, like we just got done talking about. A missed field goal, a fumble, and a missed field goal in the fourth quarter against good competition. You're not going to win a lot of those games. So same situation with the Rams. They got a 3-and-out to start that game, and then promptly Sky Moore fumbles the punt, giving away possessions, putting the defense in bad spots, getting not on the right side of the calls. I was expecting Chiefs Kingdom, though, still to be a little bit more positive. And again, this is 120-something folks. I'm not going to put this all on like everybody, but I'd be interested to see where you guys think the Chiefs' chances are, where you would vote on this poll. Let's just go from top to bottom here. Nick?
I was in the 35% that voted 26 to 50. I think the turnovers are just killing this team. And we saw that the Bills game had the ball, chance to go in through a pick, right? We saw a fumble against the Bengals. We saw 3 picks against the Broncos, let them back in the game. We saw 2 fumbles last week. So until they show that they can eliminate these silly mistakes that cost them dearly in these games, I just don't think that this is a team that you can have, a 75 to 100% chance in thinking that they're going to go to the Super Bowl, just because you can get by with that against the Broncos and the Texans. You're not going to get by against these other teams that are really good at least very often. So and also thinking 25 to 50% or 26 to 50% chance to go to the Super Bowl, that's pretty fucking good odds, really. If you consider how good the AFC is, and then you got to get out of the AFC with all these just killer teams in it, So I don't know. I feel pretty solid in that. What do you think, Bo?
Yeah, man, I was in the 51 to 75. I'm a little bit more optimistic. I feel like I always am, though. I've just seen glimpses of what this offense can be, right? And when they're on fire, there's no stopping this offense. And then we have a better than worse defense. It's not like we're the defense we had last year. Our defense, middle of the pack, which I think should be able to carry our offense well enough. And to the whole chat's points, like they're agreeing with you on the turnovers, man. They're just our points given up off of turnovers is just so unreal. Like every single time we lose the ball, the other team seems to score off of it in some fashion. So yeah, we clean that up. I think we can kind of control it. Like we can control our own destiny, making it to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is always hard to get to regardless. So I'd be more on like the 50% side than the 75% side of that. But they got a great chance, man. If things were to play out the way they are, we were going to go to the playoffs now as the 2 seed, and we're playing either the Chargers or the Dolphins, right? Like I'm liking those games better than having to play like the Bengals or something. Would love that 1 seed. I think that would definitely increase the percentage to get to the Super Bowl if we get that 1 seed. But I just think, like we've talked about it in this show, like our secondary is just like that weakness right there. I don't know if that's going to be able to hold up against teams like the Bengals and the Bills and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm optimistic. I think they can do it still.
Right.
What about you, Scott? Where'd you line up in all this?
I'm right around that. I'm in that 51 to 75%. I feel like if you played this season out 10 times, Chiefs are going to make the Super Bowl at least 5 of those times, if not 6 or 7. They just, I've thought about it, and they've played these bad teams close. But you look at the top competition, the Bills, they're eking out wins every week against the Jets, which have a much better record than the Broncos and the Houston Texans. I get it, and I know the Lions are still alive for a playoff spot, but the Bills, they're not out crushing anybody right now. The Bengals were down 17-3 against the Buccaneers and then had 4 turnovers. The Bengals beat the Buccaneers, but they had 4 drives that started inside Tampa Bay's 35-yard line. And so that, to me, they lost to the Browns this year. The Bengals have lost to some teams that are not good. So they're eminently beatable. The Bills, we've beaten them in the playoffs twice in the last year. And really, to me, it just comes down to we got Patrick Mahomes, man.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you're going to be the favorite with that dude.
Right.
Almost every time. I look at the Bills, the way teams have ran the ball on them. Even if we have to go to Buffalo, let's get the Pacheco and McKinnon show going against that defense, man. You know what I'm saying? The Bengals, the Bengals, they got all the calls. They jumped that on us early, and we still had the ball late in the game moving with a chance to put it away and make it a 2-score game. I don't anticipate Travis Kelce fumbling the ball with the game on the line in the playoffs. Do you guys?
No, that was pretty one-off.
And I just keep feeling like Patrick Mahomes threw 3 interceptions last week. Those were the turnovers last week. He's not going to do that again. I just feel the turnover thing is going to since Andy Reid has gotten here, the Chiefs have always been in the plus on the turnovers. So we're right in here. We're tied with the Bills for the best record in the AFC. They have the tiebreaker off of us, but that was a game we had won, you could say. I mean, we were up in the 4th quarter, and the Bills went down, scored. Mahomes got the ball, threw an interception that ended the game. I don't think you're going to see that happen again in the playoffs. Those teams are beatable. The Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. So, yeah, I'm still feeling better than a 50-50% chance